Good morning and welcome to year number 4 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Olivia McDonald.
And I'm Demi Bauer. Pitt to the Point is your weekly 1-hour news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt Studios.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments such as Alumni Spotlight and Clubbing at Pitt, which showcases one of our amazing student-run clubs here.
We'll feature stories from our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses. And Crossing Over at Pitt is back to show you how different departments at Pitt collaborate on the most innovative teaching in the country.
We have some new segments too. MVP, Most Valuable Professor features, and you'll love our Pitt in the Wild feature.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors who will tell you what's going on in their schools and their communities. Now, we're statewide from Pittsburgh to Lancaster to Philadelphia.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, medicine, and entertainment in the City of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh.
This past weekend, the Midwest was hit with severe weather, including multiple tornadoes.
With more than 970 severe storms reported across the 24 states, 42 people have been reported dead.
In a rare occurrence, Pittsburgh officials have confirmed that multiple tornadoes touched down in nearby counties on Sunday, March 16th.
Tornadoes struck Westmoreland, Indiana, and Fayette County, all classified as EF1 on the enhanced Fujita scale, with winds up to 110 miles per hour.
The tornadoes caused some damage, including ripped off roofs, snapped utility poles, and the destruction of a barn.
Pittsburgh and surrounding areas saw heavy rain, hail, and strong winds, but the damage was minor compared to other parts in the U.S.
We are entering tornado season, so the Midwest is preparing for a change in weather patterns over the next few weeks.
My phone out, and we went tornado warning, so we got the dog, went down to the basement. Wasn't long after that it hit, you know. This is was our master bedroom here. It's where the trees come through.
Last Saturday, Ken Gormley informed Duquesne University that he will step down as president in July 2026.
His departure ends a decade-long tenure highlighted by a medical school opening, record-breaking fundraising, and navigating the university through a global pandemic.
Gormley will not fully leave Duquesne. He will transition to the role of University Chancellor, where he plans to work alongside the next president and maintain relationships with alumni and local leaders.
President Gormley has amassed a remarkable record of accomplishments during the decade as president and his 30 years at the university, said Diane Hoop, chair of the board and an alum. Ken's leadership and vision has allowed Duquesne's reputation as a national Catholic university to soar during his time in office.
Ken Gormley turned 70 this past Wednesday. While he is taking a step back, university officials say he has no plans to slow down.
The University of Pittsburgh Student Government recently elected a new president, Marley Pinsky, and vice president, Olivia Budek, who plan to focus on affordability and representation.
The two students aim to advocate for diversity initiatives and fair distribution of organizational funding.
To hear more about how they are also planning to make campus resources more affordable, we head to our political reporter, Delaney Pippon. Delaney?
Thanks, guys. Last Tuesday evening, Marley Pinsky and Olivia Budek were elected president and vice president of Pitt's Student Government Board. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak with both of them on the driving points of their campaign that they plan on implementing during their time in office.
I think one of the concrete issues I'm the most passionate about is affordable housing on campus. So we have a pretty huge shortage of housing options on campus. Since enrollment has spiked and housing construction hasn't kept up with that in recent years, we have about 8,000 beds on campus for 20,000 undergraduate students. So I really want to push for more institutional support of student renters, as well as the dissemination of more renters' rights information.
Right now, student government like serves as like a role to be like a channel for resources from like admin to students, but then also from student, which is such an important part, from students to admin. Now, instead of being up in this office in the 8th floor, which anyone can come to, like people don't know that anyone can come in like our SGB office and just talk to us. Like we have office hours and things like that. But like we want to be like at a table in Towers lobby, and like we have done that. We want to be at a table in the WPU, and we have done that like for our campaign, and that's something we want to like implement.
You know, as I've been going to different clubs in our campaign, we have been asking people in the audience, like, raise your hand if you are familiar with SGB, and there's usually not a lot of hands. And people only really hear about us when we're campaigning or if there's like a controversy, which is really not ideal. There's a lot of needs that the student body has that SGB has not been talking about as much. So I really want to expand SGB's role in reflecting the needs of the student body and bringing those to administration. And I think that we can maintain a relationship with administration without being compromising and while standing with students and making our demands clear.
Although Pinsky and Budick have not officially been inaugurated yet, they have informed me that their team is already bringing a contagious energy and enthusiasm to the upcoming term. From Pitt to the Point, I'm your political reporter, Delaney Pippon. Demi, Olivia?
Now, Delaney, what can students look forward to with these newly elected student government leaders?
I think my biggest takeaway from speaking with Pinsky and Budick yesterday is that they both operate with a very student-oriented approach, whether that pertains to advocating for students who have had bad experiences with campus housing or pushing for a student representative to sit amongst the Board of Trustees. Thanks. Demi, Olivia?
Thank you, Delaney. On Tuesday, President Trump and President Vladimir Putin had a 2-hour-long phone call, which is the longest phone call these two countries have had in years, to talk about a wide range of topics.
The two leaders talked about the need for peace and a ceasefire in Ukraine and addressed the need for improved bilateral relations between the United States and Russia.
The Middle East was also a topic of discussion as the two leaders agreed of its potential cooperation to prevent future conflicts.
This past weekend, University of Pittsburgh students celebrated St. Patrick's Day in South Oakland, which is a popular spot for day parties.
A celebration Friday came to an abrupt stop when a roof collapsed on students who were in the 300 block of Semple Street.
Police say there were about 300 to 500 people at the party, with reports of 20 to 30 people on the roof that collapsed.
Partygoers were also on the porch below. Thankfully, there were no fatalities, though 16 people were hospitalized. Our Pitt beat reporter, Morgan Wilfong, has more on this story. Morgan?
Thanks, guys. The University of Pittsburgh students' St. Patrick's Day celebration had an unsteady start as a roof collapsed on the 300 block of Semple Street around 5:30 p.m. on Friday, March 14th. There were many people on the roof, causing it to collapse on the people below it and into the crowd in front of it.
This roof collapse came as a surprise to the people on, below, and around it, as it did not give any warning of giving out. Pitt student Alexander Hill was in the area when this tragic event occurred.
I was next door inside of the house, and I was talking with a few of my friends, and we heard a really loud crash outside, and I looked outside one of the windows and saw a guy with a big gash across his chest. He was bleeding. At first I thought there was some sort of fight, but then when I went out the back door, I could see the roof falling into the crowd. A bunch of people were trying to pick it back up. Immediately, a girl got carried inside the house that I was in and put on the couch, and we had to call 911 because she had a pretty bad injury on her head. At first, I was confused because I wasn't really sure what had happened. I knew that people were on the roof when I had been outside, but I was inside for a while, so I didn't know if maybe the cops had shown up or if there was some sort of fight, if something had happened. I didn't expect to see the roof on the ground. When I realized what was happening and I saw that people were getting injured, I just started to panic, and I was really worried that something worse could have happened, like somebody died or was crushed under it. Right away, I was almost in shock. I was very much taken aback that this had happened, and then when the girl came in, I immediately was just trying to figure out the best way to help her to get ICE to call 911. After things had settled and people started to clear out, me and my friends stayed at the house just to make sure that everyone was safe. Once the fire department came out back, we watched them lift up the roof just to make sure that there was no one underneath it. Thank God there wasn't. But we were just still in shock that this had happened, and my mind was racing. I was just thinking to myself, thank God that that wasn't me that had gotten hurt. And I was making sure that all of my friends were okay just because I knew a lot of people that were there. I think people just need to think more about doing things like going on a roof or dangerous things, especially when there's alcohol involved. I'm really glad that everyone immediately was calling 911, making sure that everybody was safe and people were being very responsible about that. So I just hope that people think about this in the future and remember that this is something that could happen and we all have to keep that in mind.
As there were many people in this area, this event left many people injured. Some were treated on the scene while 16 were even sent to the hospital. And students are still recovering from this serious event. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt Beat reporter Morgan Wilfong. Olivia, Demi.
Now, Morgan, is there any update on how or if they will fix the roof or about any students that in critical condition?
Yeah, I haven't heard much about the roof yet, but I know that students were very injured by this. Luckily, there were no fatalities. I know there were some concussions, injuries to the legs, so those do take some time to recover from, but I think the students are on a road to recovery. Olivia, Demi.
Thank you, Morgan. We have new details on the disappearance of Sadiqa Kanaki, plus an exclusive look at a local business making a big move with one of Pittsburgh's locations.
And our favorite segment is coming up next, College and High School, along with new stories and exciting programs happening right here on campus. Stay tuned for more on Pitt to the Point.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely revolutionizing how the body heals through a novel approach to regenerative medicine. All led by visionaries like Dr. Chandan Sen.
You can generate tissue types without using stem cells. And now we know that is possible. That will completely change the paradigm of healthcare.
Our kind of possible paves the way through selfless action and giving.
We all come together with a shared goal of giving today to transform tomorrow.
Ever see 11,000 Proud fuel this much opportunity in 24 hours? We have, and you're about to see it too, in the progress all around you, as our people continue to bring our vision and our promise to life in newer, bigger, and bolder ways. It's possible at Pitt.
Thanks for tuning back in to Pitt to the Point. Happen to watch a story that piques your curiosity? Want to find out more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business, technology, and more, log on to pittothepoint.com. Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and more. Check it out at pittothepoint.com.
It has currently been over 2 weeks since University of Pittsburgh student Sudisha Kanaki went missing in the Dominican Republic.
Kanaki's family had wrote a letter to investigative authorities asking them to declare her legally deceased and that there has been no evidence of foul play.
Kanaki's father has stated how they are coming to terms with the fact that their daughter has drowned after noting that authorities have shown them how high the waves were at the time of the incident.
Joshua Reeby, a senior at St. Cloud University in Minnesota, is believed to be the last person to be seen with Kanaki before her disappearance and was detained in the Dominican Republic.
Reeby was forced to stay in the Dominican Republic by authorities and have his passport confiscated. While having to stay for an extra 2 weeks, he was under police supervision and questioned by authorities.
At this time, Reeby has not been charged with a crime and is not a suspect in Kanaki's disappearance.
If you're a big Pittsburgh sports fan or love the city itself, you're probably familiar with the Steel City store. They offer Pittsburgh apparel at various locations throughout the city and surrounding areas.
Owner Brandon and Carly Gerbach announced that they are closing the Steel City location downtown and are opening a new location in the Strip District.
This new location features a distinct vintage theme that sets it apart from their other stores. Our business and tech reporter, Duran Lowenberg, has more details. Duran?
Well, local business and clothing apparel institution Steel City is moving out. The brand's flagship downtown store is closing, and they are looking to find a new home. Pittsburgh has been known as the Steel City since the 1800s, but it wasn't until 2011 that husband and wife team Brandon and Carly Gerbach used the moniker to start their own apparel business. The Steel City brand started as one screen printing kit in the Gerbach's garage, but after 5 years of working the pop-up and convention circuit, Steel City opened its first brick-and-mortar store on 625 Smithfield Street, downtown. 9 years and 3 more locations later, the flagship store is moving to the Strip District's The Terminal shopping center. No official statement has been made about the reason for the move, but it isn't going to be the space's only new arrival. Both Sephora and Pittsburgh jewelry institution Orr's Jewelers will set up locations in the terminal within the year. All is not perfect for the Strip, however. The City of Pittsburgh's plan to further pedestrianize the streets around the terminal, 2022's so-called Strip District Mobility Plan, hit a snag this month when district business owners started a petition to keep the district stretch of Penn Avenue, a major thoroughfare, as a 2-lane street. The proposed plan would reduce Penn to a 1-car lane and 1 bike lane within the Strip District, something that business owners say would negatively impact their ability to do business. Whether or not the plans go through, one thing's for sure, there will be plenty of traffic, whether by foot or by car, coming to and through Steel City's new home in the Strip. If you would like to learn more about Steel City's offerings or their new location, you can look them up on steelcitybrand.com or follow them on Instagram at steelcitybrand. Demi, Olivia?
Now, Duran, what does having the new location in the Strip District do for the city of Pittsburgh and its community?
Well, the City of Pittsburgh is looking to increase economic activity throughout the entire Strip District. So having a local, well-known brand that has been wildly successful move into the terminal there will absolutely increase foot traffic and get people to check out other stores on the Strip. Demi, Olivia?
Thanks, Duran.
With so many newsworthy events happening on campus, it can be hard to keep up. That's where our newspaper, the Pitt News, comes in.
Here are the top headlines from our award-winning newspaper. It is the Pitt News on Pitt to the Point.
The University of Pittsburgh's Counseling Center has been facing backlash after briefly renaming an event from LGBT Peer Support Space to LGB Peer Support Space, omitting the T for transgender. The change was quickly reversed, but many community members remain concerned about the impact of the decision. Several community members took to social media after the change to express concern. Pitt alum and civil rights activist Kate Koenig believes the change is due to federal legislation that threatens to cut funding for schools that continue to fund programs that support diversity, equity, and inclusion. Pitt's Campus Recreation is acknowledging Women's History Month this March with their Panther Fit Wellness Series, a collection of physical and mental health activities designed to motivate and inspire women to come together in athletics. This is the second year of their Panther Fit Wellness Series, Empower Her, a collection of events on campus. This series offers diverse activities including small group training, climbing nights, soccer tournaments, and a self-defense class throughout March. To commemorate the upcoming completion of the Hillman Library's renovation, students are working with a community artist on an 8x32-foot mural that will be displayed on the first floor of the library. The mural is a collaboration between Pittsburgh artist Alison Zapata and 8 Pitt students.
Today, we have students from Montour High School joining us to talk about an annual fundraiser called Nucci Finney Day.
Luke Medvitz and Alyssa Francis, welcome back. We are so excited to see what you guys have for us this week. How are you guys?
Good morning, Olivia and Demi. It's a great day on the hilltop. The Montour Spartans are proud to join this morning's broadcast of Pitt to the Point. Thank you for having us.
The Montour School District community thrives on lasting connections, where students, families, and alumni share a deep sense of pride and tradition that unites Spartans across generations. In 2001, the high school student body made a pledge to always love and remember 2 classmates who lost their lives in a tragic accident.
Brian Finney Finnegan and Brandon Nucci Shirelli were juniors at Montour High School. Exemplary students number 21 and 32 were active members of the community both on and off the basketball court. They were adored by their families, teachers, and classmates alike.
This past February marked 24 years since the Montour community was forever changed. Brian and Brandon's legacy lives on through a scholarship that was created by their families in their honor. There are many events that work to fund the scholarship. One specific event has become a tradition at Montour High School.
Let's take a look at Nucci Finney Day on the hilltop.
In the years following the accident, the entire Montour community memorialized the lives and legacy of Nucci and Finney. There are several tributes around the high school campus, including benches, a memorial plaque, and a decal on the court.
In 2011, Montour students Aaron McGee and Jimmy Shuley wanted to do something to support the Shirelli and Finnegan families. They discussed a 2-on-2 basketball tournament to be held during the school day, and a new standing tradition at the Hilltop began. Since then, an annual 2-on-2 basketball tournament has been held. Students pay to participate and spectate the event and are excused from classes the entirety of the day. The money raised at the tournament is donated to the Nucci Finney Scholarship Fund.
With that money, each year, a scholarship is awarded to one senior boy and one senior girl who demonstrates good character. Some of the traits looked for in applicants are respect, strong work ethic, and leadership, the same qualities that Brian and Brandon portrayed throughout their lives. Along with the 2-on-2 tournament here at Montour, there are other events approved by the nonprofit. All of these events combined fund the scholarship. Since 2001, $298,000 have been awarded to Montour seniors through the Nucci Finney Scholarship Fund. Each spring, $24,000 total is awarded at the senior recognition ceremony held in the Montour Athletic Center. What does Nucci Finney on the Hilltop mean to you?
I think it's a big event. It's really important. The fact that it happened before I was even born and we can still raise money for it today, it's a great event, great day on the Hilltop.
Mr. Price, what does Nucci Finney Day mean on the Hilltop to you?
So ultimately, I think for me it means supporting the Shirelli and the Finnegan families.
What does Nucci Finney Day on the Hilltop mean to you?
Nucci Finney Day on the Hilltop means everything to me. There's a group of kids who didn't even know Brian and Brandon, and they take the time out of their day to honor them and respect them and think about them, and they will never know how much that touches my heart.
Well, Jamie said it all, but I just want to thank everybody, all the kids, all the faculty, the coaches, everybody for doing this and always remembering and loving Brandon and Brian.
To see the kids have so much fun every year doing this, it actually makes me feel good.
Nucci Finney Day on the Hilltop is one of many memorial pieces that keep the memory of Brian and Brandon alive in the community. It is a tradition that will continue for years to come. Live from Montour High School's Hilltop campus, I'm Melissa Francis.
And I'm Luke Medvitz. Thank you for having us on Pitt to the Point. Olivia and Demi, back to you.
Now, Luke and Alyssa, what does Nucci Finney Day mean to you?
Nucci Finney Day on the Hilltop is important to our community, and as a member of that community, I'm proud to be a part of this great tradition.
And how do you think future Montour students will continue to honor Brian and Brandon?
Future Montour students will continue to honor Brian and Brandon by continuing to recognize them during the tournaments, as well as annually awarding a scholarship in their honor.
Thank you, guys. The past 2 summers, media and engineering students at the University of Pittsburgh teamed up to make cybersecurity a little less scary and more educational.
The SureGrid Fellowship is a 12-week-long that is sponsored by the Idaho National Laboratory. The program explores the power grid and teaches students how to integrate cyber-informed engineering into university classes.
Our very own Michael Stoshin was given the opportunity to be a part of this program last summer. Here is Crossing Over at Pitt.
I am Maya Abdel Hakim. I'm Associate Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the University of Pittsburgh.
I am Dr. Brandon Granger. I'm an Associate Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering.
My name is Brett Say. I'm currently the Assistant Director of Surveys here in the Office of the Provost.
My name is Kevin Michael Smith. I am the Director of Undergraduate Studies for Broadcasting and Teaching Professor at the University of Pittsburgh.
Hi, I'm Erin Clark. I'm a junior at Pitt.
Hi, I'm Abby Magestro, and I'm a senior computer engineering major at Pitt.
SureGrid is a program. It provides students with the opportunity to engage in undergraduate research.
What we were focusing on was more the educational elements, to start equipping undergrads to kind of get exposed to what cybersecurity is.
There's no one way to specifically solve it. There's multiple ways that you would have to understand the engineering aspect of it. It's a unique opportunity at the university to create a new path for showing people, here's a plan that you can implement.
It's a collaboration with different people on campus, and it's a collaboration with different disciplines. And really that collaboration is all focused on solving some sort of complex engineering problem from multiple perspectives.
The engineers understand the technical know-how, how systems need to be redesigned to handle the cybersecurity thing, but
in the world of media and broadcasting, we have a responsibility to not only learn what they're saying and get a basic understanding of implications, but then almost a translation of the general public and non-engineering students to understand what is being said and what is being done. So that way a conversation and discourse can be held.
We really learned to help each other, and that was really breaking down all of the information. They got really good at explaining it to me and giving me templates in very layman's or simple terms for me to use in the video.
Me going into the fellowship had this idea that it would just be like a school-based fellowship, but the fact that we were working with the INL, which is a national laboratory, they were actually going to use our stuff in the future. Like, it wasn't just going into the nothingness of a student publication. Was really cool.
From Robert Morris University making March Madness to Johnstown wrestling victories, the Pittsburgh community has had plenty to cheer for.
And don't forget Pitt Track and Field, the Riverhounds and Riveters making headlines.
Yep, we are talking all things sports after the break.
We wear it with pride. Shout it from podiums.
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
And prove it out time and time again. It's possible at Pitt. Now we have an opportunity to give these words even deeper meaning by making Pitt possible for all. Because it's not enough to just welcome one of the largest first-year classes in university history. We must ensure that every student from any background has every opportunity to pursue whatever they want to pursue. Thankfully, there's a plan in place to increase access and affordability and eliminate financial barriers for students in need, to help more upper-class students reach the finish line when they meet unseen hurdles, to go dollar for dollar, matching federal Pell Grants to the tune of more than 139 million big ones, to continue opening doors and kickstarting careers, to expand our programs, enhance our support systems, and meet our students where they are, literally, online.
and welcome back to Pitt to the Point.
The show has flown by today, but don't fret. We will be right back with you next week at the same time, and the week after that, and the week after that.
Pitt to the Point airs every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on our amazing University of Pittsburgh website, the Pitt to the Point website, and YouTube channel. You can also find a tape version of the show on Pittsburgh CBSN, which is KDKA TV's streaming platform, on Saturday at noon.
And we're excited to say you can also catch a re-airing of today's Pitt to the Point in Philadelphia every Saturday at 12 noon on CBS Philadelphia's streaming platform.
The 2025 college men's basketball bracket was released Saturday, March 15th, and Robert Morris University earned themselves a spot.
After winning the Horizon League tournament on March 11th, the win over Youngstown State locked up their bid.
This will be RMU's first appearance in the tournament since 2015. Although the Colonials made the cut in 2020, the event was canceled due to the pandemic.
RMU will be facing number 2 seed Alabama today at 12:40 p.m. at the Rocket Arena in Cleveland.
Going into the tournament as the 15th seed, RMU comes in with a 26-8 record. We are wishing the best of luck to the Colonials.
If you think 2025 has been going fast, Pitt track and field senior Janiah Burton is even faster.
Burton has earned second team All-American status and became the second person from Pitt to become an individual ACC champion in the women's 400-meter race.
We can find more about how Burton set a personal best and school record from our Pitt sports reporter, Katie Pearson. Katie?
So there's this quote from this Disney movie you might have heard of. It's called Cars. And that quote in question, speed. I am speed. And while Lightning McQueen is pretty fast, Janiah Burton of Pitt Track and Field is most certainly faster.
The University of Pittsburgh added another ACC champion and All-American to its ever-growing list. Earlier this month, senior Janiah Burton finished first in the 400-meter race at the ACC Track and Field Indoor Championships. Burton said she loved being able to prove herself on the track.
It just felt good because, I didn't think it was possible. And, some people won't think that was possible. So to able to go out there and do it and, surprise myself, even everybody else, that was, amazing. I did it.
Burton ran the race in 51.82 seconds, beating her own record of 52.6 seconds. Additionally, she finished fifth in the 200-meter and set another school record, finishing with a time of 23.36 seconds. During the race, Burton had one thing on her mind: don't settle.
Before the race, me and my coach had a pep talk because, we had a Florida State on the outside and Florida State in the inside. So he was like, they might try to box you in. And what's going through my head is get out, don't let anybody box you in. Because my first race I settle. I was like, this race I can't settle. So that was in my mind, just get out and just lead the race and go at your pace and go.
Then Burton competed at the NCAA Championships, where she placed in the top 16 to earn second team All-American status.
I think I'm still processing it. I mean, it felt good, but it's just I just still feel normal because I know there's more to achieve, and especially going outdoor, it's more for me to do. It's felt good in that moment. Now I know I did the impossible and I could go outside and do it all over again.
Burton and the rest of the Panthers track and field team will start their outdoor season this weekend at the USF Alumni Invitational.
Burton and the rest of the Pitt Track and Field team will start their outdoor season this weekend at the USF Alumni Invitational. And while we talk some people running fast on the track, City sports reporter Noah Dan is going to be discussing some Pittsburgh teams starting their seasons on the pitch. Noah.
Thanks, Katie. This past soccer season is officially underway in Pittsburgh. And this past week, I had the opportunity to talk to members of the organization about both the Riverhounds and the newest team in Pittsburgh, the Women's League, the Riveters. I had the opportunity to discuss with them Pittsburgh soccer teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's been growing, and we've been trying to grow it for some time. The sort of on-field momentum has led to off-field momentum in terms of ticket sales, popularity of the team. It's that growth in the Pittsburgh market and really the national recognition that comes with the success we've had on the field. Pittsburgh's always had a pretty rich soccer history, and trying to reestablish it in the market has been a big goal. And I always say that the on-field results matter a lot. And I think it was 2017 was when Jay was hired at Pitt. 2018 was the year Bob Lilly, who's a Hall of Fame coach in his own right, came here to take over the Riverhounds, and we've had that sort of success. And I know Jay and Bob, we at the Hounds and Pitt play in spring every year as part of our preseason. The two of them are very close, very successful in each of their own rights.
The program that Jay and the other coaches ran at Pitt was a very professional one, so it made the transition going into the pros a little bit easier. Jay was trying to develop us, but it was really about winning. It's been really good. And when I moved from the University of Pittsburgh to MLS Next Pro, that's really an environment about development and not about winning. And that was a big part of my motivation to come back to Pittsburgh or join a USL team in general, because it's not a development league. It's a league where, those 3 points really matter. And then coming back to a city like Pittsburgh, a city I love and I'm super familiar with. I've now lived in Pittsburgh longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life. So it really does feel like home. I love the city.
Women's hockey is growing, women's soccer, women's basketball is already at heights it hasn't been. There is definitely a market to be tapped into here in Pittsburgh. This area is so rich in sports history and also women's sports history that, it's time that those platforms are available right here in the city. We are coming into this, trying to put a team together that is going to contend to win its division, win its conference, and contend nationally in this league. I mean, we're putting together a team with top players from around the country, and we want the best in Pittsburgh and the best in the country to want to come play for the Riveters. I mean, we are looking forward to having, as many people out here as we can fit into High Market until the fire marshal says we can't put them in anymore.
The Riverhounds played their first home game tomorrow against Hartford, and the Riveters kick off their inaugural season on May 16th against Cleveland at Highmark Stadium. And while you're at Highmark Stadium, you could head across the river to PNC Park to watch the Pirates. And while the season began when the Dodgers took on the Cubs in Japan, the Pirates will play their first game on March 27th against the Miami Marlins and have their home opener on April 4th against the New York Yankees. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Sports reporter Noah Dan. Demi, Olivia?
Thanks, Noah. Now, Demi, last week we gave Greensburg and Bradford the spotlight. Is there anything new from Johnstown or Titusville?
Well, Olivia, you're in luck. This week, Johnstown has some success that deserves to be recognized.
Oh, that's right. The Pitt Johnstown men's wrestling team won their 26th Super Regional title.
This is Tyler Reinhardt's first season as head coach, and the team got 7 wrestlers to the semifinals and 5 made it to the finals.
Our regional campus reporter Isaiah Waddington has more on this story. Isaiah?
When it comes to the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, they do nothing but win. For generations, they've been having a historic program, and this year did nothing but continue on with their incredible legacy.
The University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown won their 26th Super Regional title for wrestling this past season. This victory came after a performance where the Mountain Cats put up 148 points, which was 6.5 points better than Gannon, who finished in second place. These 5 finalists were able to qualify for D2 Nationals. Noah Nebus and Isaiah Vance were 2 of the qualifiers, along with the 3 champions, Trayvon Gray, Chad Ozias, and Dakota Rogers. The champions did an amazing job that day, starting with Trayvon Gray, who is in the 125 weight class, who was the 1 seed going in. He won his first 3 rounds by fall and won his final round by decision 4-1 and sudden victory over the 2 seed from Gannon. This was his 3rd championship in Super Regionals in his career. Chad Ozias was in the 149 weight class and won his first Super Regional championship by getting a first round bye and then winning the quarterfinals by a fall, semifinals by decision 13-10 over the 3 seed from Kutztown, but then ultimately winning the finals by forfeit due to the 1 seed from Gideon not being able to perform medically. The final champion for the Mountain Cats was Dakota Rogers, whose second regional championship this was. He won the first 2 rounds by fall, won the semifinals by technical fall, and won the finals by decision 9-2 over the second-seeded Kutztown athlete. This was the first season for Tyler Reinhardt, who was able to continue the legacy of former head coach Pat Piccaro. Piccaro coached the Mountain Cats for 47 seasons, and in this time achieved the most wins in wrestling history at any level of college. Piccaro recently lost his battle to cancer.
Coach Pat Piccaro would be really proud of the Mountain Cats' effort this year and their continued success in wrestling. For Pitt to the Point, I'm regional campus reporter Isaiah Waddington. Demi, Olivia.
Now, Isaiah, with this being Reinhardt's first year as head coach, what can we expect from him or the team next year?
I expect them to continue their dominance. He is somebody who was under Coach Piccaro as a player and a coach. So being able to learn under him will continue the success for Pitt Johnstown wrestling for years to come.
Thanks, Isaiah. Want to make your houseplants jealous? Well, Phipps Conservatory is in a full bloom with their flower show this spring. And don't miss meeting one of our most valuable professors.
Also, come melt into spring with a sneak peek at Pittsburgh's Thaw Festival happening downtown. We've got that and more coming up on Pitt to the Point.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely
If you're looking to stop and smell the roses, literally, then the annual Spring Flower Show at Phipps Conservatory is in full bloom starting Saturday, March 22nd.
The display is open from March 22nd to April 20th. Visitors can experience vibrant colors and fragrant displays that highlight the beauty of spring.
Each room is dedicated to a different seasonal flower, showcasing tulips, pansies, lilies, and my favorite, roses. Our City Beat reporter, Natalie Silberman, has more on this floral wonderland. Natalie?
Thanks, guys. Well, as you just said, Phipps is about to be in full bloom. Starting tomorrow, visitors can immerse themselves in vivid colors and floral fragrances at the Bloom for Every Room show.
Stop and smell the roses and step into Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens, Bloom for Every Room. The annual Spring Flower Show opens tomorrow and runs for just 4 weeks. The show highlights quintessential spring blooms and dazzling displays, with each room dedicated to a different seasonal flower. But what exactly is it that makes a Bloom for Every Room so special?
So even though we have a lot of tropical plants, the feature is different plants that you would be able to grow in your own garden at home.
The exhibit also features many prize-winning orchids. Other highlights include a scenic garden with a charming cottage topped by a lush living plant roof, And a standout feature of the show can be seen in the Palm Court, which is actually the first room you walk into at Phipps, where dazzling crystal garlands hang above a stunning array of tulips. My personal favorite room came in the Bruderie, inspired by the elegance of French gardens and reminiscent of the grand landscape surrounding Louis XIV's French chateau. The space is filled with vibrant hyacinths and tulips, creating a breathtaking display of both color and fragrance. Spring Flower Show tickets will be available for advance order on Monday, March 24th, for visit dates through Sunday, April 13th, and Monday, March 31st, for visit dates through Sunday, April 20th. Phipps is so easy to get lost in, as every room brings a new sense of wonder and is diverse in its own way. So come celebrate spring at Phipps Botanical Gardens and check out their bloom for every room.
Phipps Conservatory, A Bloom for Every Room, starts tomorrow and runs for just 4 weeks, so get tickets while you can. They're available now on their website. With Pitt to the Point, I'm your City Beat reporter, Natalie Silverman. Olivia, Demi?
Thanks, Natalie. Now, Natalie, is there one room or flower you're looking forward to seeing the most?
That's a good question. Honestly, I love all flowers, and when I went to Phipps this week, I was just like blown away by everything. I especially love tulips. I just love how colorful they can be. So they were definitely my favorite to see. And I want to go back because it wasn't done. Like all the rooms weren't done when I was there. So I don't know if there's more tulips in store for me.
Thanks, Natalie. The University of Pittsburgh has a wide variety of professors that showcase their incredible talents.
The passion of professors truly inspires the students here, and their hard work and dedication set us up for exceptional careers.
Today, we honor one of our most valuable professors, the Director of Undergraduate Studies in Film and Media Studies, whose passion is shaping the next generation of thinkers and creators. Meet Dana Ock.
I'm Dana Ock, and I am the Director of Undergraduate Studies for Film and Media Studies on the Critical Studies track. I am a teaching professor, and I teach a lot of courses on horror and television. I have worked at Pitt throughout my whole career, so I have really changed over time. I always tell students, I know what I think, I want to know what you think. And in our space in my classrooms is very much discussion-based because I want everything to come from the students rather than to just read things and spit it back. I like to inspire people by just actually existing. I work to make sure that my students, who mostly want to make, know that the way to actually achieve and make change in the industry is you have to change who's behind the camera. I strive to make television something that people are invested in as well. I think that the Bellot Awards Committee was especially impressed with a couple of things. One, I'm from a working class background. I think that background, for the few of us that are, allow us to make close connections with students. The second thing I think they really liked is those of us who made a difference during COVID teaching. For students who've taken TV analysis, they'll recognize this. The live chatting television, that didn't exist before COVID. I want you all to flourish through interactivity, connection, community. So I thought that I was going to have a different path in my career, and that didn't happen. But I embraced every opportunity that came to me, and then I've made the job more what I want. You have to always keep working at it and fight for yourself. It's great if someone's fighting for you, but you have to fight for yourself at all times. There's a line between creating your own opportunities, but also realizing that, and this is a thing with TV and media that a lot of us are having to deal with, the industry's changing. You all bring ideas and things that I hadn't thought of, television shows I haven't watched, investments that I then can get excited about as well. that's why it's so important to be involved in your classes, because you can actually change things for the people who are coming after you.
Pittsburgh's newest festival, The Thaw, is going into its third and final week in downtown Market Square.
Each week, the festival focused on a different theme, showcasing different foods, music, and activities for people of all ages.
To celebrate its last weekend, the festival is going to physically thaw out a snowman to welcome the first days of spring. For more on this, we head to our entertainment reporter, Nick Bennett. Nick?
Thanks, Olivia. Anyone who's spent enough time in the Pittsburgh downtown knows that there's a festival or event happening all year round. And if you spent any time around there in a car during the summer, you know how often they cause the roads to close. Well, this year, a new festival is coming to Pittsburgh to bridge that gap from winter to spring. So if you find yourself at around Market Square this weekend, you have to go down to make sure that you enjoy the festivities.
The City of Pittsburgh is home to many different events, and this year it adds one more to that list. The Thaw is a new winter-spring festival that takes place over 3 weekends, with this one being its finale.
My name is Darcy Kushnick. I am the Director of Events for Fly Space Productions, and we are co-producing The Thaw in Market Square with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. So the first weekend was an ice cold theme. And then last weekend, of course, was St. Patrick's Day. So we had Irish music all weekend on the stage and the bar set up. And this weekend is a Thaw Music Festival with a fire theme. So we're celebrating the cold to the heat. We will melt a 12-foot snowman made of ice with fireworks from Zambelli and flamethrowers. And that will symbolize the end of winter and moving into spring.
Snowmen won't be the only thing on fire this weekend. Professional fire performing group Flow Nat will put their skills on display. There will also be 10 different live musical guests over the next 3 days, with national headliners in the evening. Tonight will feature Chicago-based party funk band Sneezy. Saturday will have rock duo Illiterate Light. And Sunday will close out the festival with country singer Danny Rose.
Well, we're trying to bring people down to Market Square, especially this time of year when there's not as many things going on, maybe besides the St. Patrick's Day parade last weekend, but there's not a lot. This is a slow time of sort of year for the festivals, obviously, because of the weather. So we're trying to really create something new in this downtime.
This is just the first year of the Thaw, and hopefully it will be back for many more.
If you're looking for a great way to welcome in the new spring season, the final week of the Thaw is the perfect opportunity for you. With 10 different musical artists down there for this weekend, there's surely to be something for everyone. Olivia, Demi?
Now, I know this is the first time we have done this festival. Do you think we can bring it back next year?
Well, I certainly hope so. I know that there's a lot of talk about trying to bring it back based on how well it goes this year. And I think that would be a great opportunity. We have so much happening in summer around Pittsburgh because it's when everyone wants to be out. We really need more that kind of is in that little groggy time frame. Like we have St. Patrick's Day parade, but there isn't a lot else to get people out. And I think that this is a great new thing that will attract a lot of new people. Demi, Olivia?
Thanks, Nick. If you're a Pitt student that loves to get down and dirty in the great outdoors, boy, do we have a club perfect for you.
And stick around because after the break, we're giving you an exclusive look at just how lively our campus gets after dark.
Part of the University of Pittsburgh is the Cathedral of Learning.
There's a lot you can say about this place. Gritty? Well, we prefer tough. Resilient. Innovative, of course. We are part of the city that built the backbone of America, and now we're making it bend and flex in every which way.
Your time at Pitt has also prepared you for what is possible.
But there's one thing you can't deny. When the world needs something, we find a way to give it to them. Whether that's defeating a crippling disease,
Salt's exhausting labors had paid off.
or fighting off the world's next life-threatening illness, we focus our eyes and attention on the ones who need us most, day in and far out.
Pittsburgh Panthers are the National Collegiate Champions.
So the question we have to deal with is, can we work and build together even when we're different?
All this comes naturally when you've built a foundation on community in a city that feels more like a family at a time when there's basically no other choice. So yeah, there's a lot you can say about this place. But this is what we know. We know that we've earned more than $1 billion in research funding just this year alone. We know that we're breaking ground for more groundbreaking innovation. We know that if you throw a problem our way, we'll do the work to solve it.
You are here, standing, greeted by the end of one journey and the beginning of the next.
We know that it's possible at Pitt.
Now that spring is about to be sprung and the weather is getting nicer, there are lots of activities to partake in outside.
The University of Pittsburgh's Outdoor Club features a wide variety of adventurous and calming ways to connect with nature.
Between whitewater rafting and hiking outdoors, Rosalind Dong tells us more about the club.
Outdoors Club basically goes on day trips and overnight trips to places sort of around Pittsburgh. Basically, we do activities like hiking, mountain biking, whitewater rafting, outdoor climbing, things like that. Recently, we went whitewater rafting at the New River Gorge, and that was my first time. And I didn't fall out, but it was definitely scary. Like when you go down some of the rapids, it's a very quick drop, and you kind of have to just like hope for the best and hope that you stay in the boat. And the water was very cold because we did jump in after, so I was glad I didn't fall in. And plus, if you fall in, the rocks can hurt you a lot, so it was a little scary. It's definitely scary, but I feel like that's kind of the nice part about doing it with the club is that you can still have that thrill from it, but you can also know that someone's going to help you back in the boat if you do fall out. It was just kind of like the vibe of sitting around a campfire that was really fun, and I feel like everyone was really friendly and welcoming. Even if I was a first-year student who'd never been on a trip before, I felt very welcomed in the community, so I feel like that was pretty memorable. We have so many officers. We have about 30. Usually there's at least a few of them on every trip, and the officers in particular, although even regular members too, are very adamant about people's safety. We're very open that you can come talk to us about anything, and we always have a first aid kit with us, so there definitely is that culture of helping everybody out and being alert, and we make sure like at night that no one's feeling unsafe or anything, and so we make sure there's not anyone who's like bringing down the vibes or being a threat to the club. When I was on Ohio Pile, part of the groups got separated, but we had officers on both sides who were in communication. We got medicine with club money. We made sure that everyone was okay, and obviously if people are feeling unwell, they can go home early, stuff like that. So we make sure that we check in with members. I was not very outdoorsy before I came to Pitt and joined Outdoors Club. My family just never really went camping, but I feel like Outdoors Club is very accessible to students, and so I feel like having that opportunity has really been eye-opening for me, and it's been allowing me to go on fun outdoor adventures. And I feel like I'll carry that with me after college too.
The University of Pittsburgh is a vibrant and beautiful campus during the day, but have you seen it once the sun is set?
While some campuses tend to quiet down once the moon comes out, Oakland is still wide awake and full of life.
On this week's edition of Pitt in the Wild, Sam Stratter lets us hear the sounds of Oakland after dark.
If you enjoyed today's show, you can rewatch the show on CBSN, KDKA TV streaming platform, every Saturday at noon, as well as CBS Philadelphia streaming platform at noon on Saturdays.
You can also check out our social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook, where you can get behind-the-scenes look at our show.
If Demi and I have kept you entertained for the last hour, then you're in luck, because for the next 5 weeks, Pitt to the Point will be coming to you live at this same time.
Until next time, I'm Demi Bauer.
And I'm Olivia McDonald, and we'll see you next week on Pitt to the Point.